Okay guys, I'm going to show you how to grout your nightlight. So once it's dry, you need to let it dry for 24 hours and it needs to be clear. The glue is white and then it dries clear. This is the grout. You don't want to breathe this in, so when you pour it in your bowl, either keep it covered while you're pouring it in somehow, or put a mask on, like a chemical mask. And you want this the consistency of peanut butter. Literally start with just a couple drops. And then again, gently stir this. You do not want this flying up in your face and breathing this in. It has silica. You don't want to be breathing that in. Okay, and I just use an old yogurt container. Just use something you're not ever going to use for food. Again, another little drop of water. This is probably about 4 tablespoons of grout, maybe 3. Don't have to dump in the whole package you take home. Just in case you add too much water, then you can add a little more grout. So you always want to keep some grout left over. When we're grouting, we're basically just grouting the little spaces. That's where we want the grout to go, and then we'll wipe off the extra. I think I actually need a little more. So I'm going to put this over here. Kind of slowly put in a little more grout. It's a couple drops of water. Just use your little craft stick. Okay, that's a little better. Okay, you're just gonna stir it very well. Let me see. That looks about right. Then you need to let this sit for 5 minutes before you start grouting. Okay, after the grout's been sitting 5 minutes, we can go ahead and apply it. So just glob it all on. And you definitely want to have gloves on for this. So this is really messy and gets all over your hands, under your nails. Okay. You can just use your fingers, your hands, or I just have these artist spatulas, these palette knives. And honestly, I probably have more than I need as far as grout, but the more you put on, the more you have to take off. Okay, so, and you want to get your sides. So just be careful when you're working with your hands, because the glass pieces can cut you, grab you. You can always just use your stick. You want to get it in all those spaces. And on the sides, see these edges, like just like that. Carefully. This is probably more suitable for the adults to do, not the really young kids, but yes, I felt that little sharp piece. Didn't cut me, but I could feel it. Get all the edges. You can just use your finger to get it in again. Be careful. Get it in all those little grooves, all those little scan. Again, be careful. And you just take a piece of newspaper. This is how I learned, and this is how I do it, and I actually like it better than using a sponge. You'll see some people use a sponge, but I like this method. So you're just gonna take your newspaper and just, you're taking off the excess. The grout's gonna stay in all the spaces. Okay, see? Touch up the sides. When you're scrubbing off the extra grout, you gotta watch the sides. I'm not too obsessed about how much grout's on the sides, but I will just smooth it down as best I can. And I will show you that in the next piece. And it already, even though it's not completely cleaned up, you can see the difference that black grout makes. Okay, it's been a couple hours. So now I'm just taking a damp towel and cleaning up the glass, cleaning up any grout. Okay, so the next step, once you have your glass all cleaned up, you're gonna take your nightlight base and you're just gonna pop this little thing just pops on here like that. But before you do that, you're gonna want to glue your Mosaic right on to this with some E6000 glue, okay? So just find the middle, you can measure, these are 3.5 inches. You're just gonna glue this on. I would let it sit overnight, 24 hours at least. And then you're just gonna take this and pop it right onto your nightlight like that and put your light bulb in. One more thing I wanted to mention before gluing your nightlight on the back once it's all grouted. Just want to show you. So if you're going to glue your nightlight base here, scuff it up a little with the sandpaper just so that glue has something to hold on to. Since it's such a slick surface, I would scuff that little area up with the sandpaper and then glue your base on.